Welcome back to step 3 of our Pear Deck video series. Step 1 was just talking about the extension and how to make sure it was on your computer. Step 2 was going over the types of questions in the library and how to pull them into your lesson. And step 3 is going to be actually starting your lesson. So if I come in and I've already edited my slides, I have all the interactive Pear Deck elements. I would still need to open up my Pear Deck add-on so that I have my button to start the lesson. Once I have it up, I simply click Start Lesson. It's going to give us two different modes to choose from. The first one is going to be the student-paced activity mode. What that means is the students would be able to go at their own speed through the entire presentation and answer the questions that you have seamlessly interwoven for them to answer. The second option is instructor-paced activity. This is going to be where you get to lead the lesson through real-time interaction with the students. I normally select instructor-paced activity and then release it to student-paced at the point when I feel like majority of my class understands the concept. When you hit instructor-paced activity, it sends you to a brand new slide website. And so it's going to pull in all of your slides from your lesson, and it's going to provide a specific code for your students. All students will go to their own browser on their iPads and type in joinpd.com and then insert these 6 letters without a space. It looks like there's a space there, but it is not needed. So you can open it up like this, and then students will go to joinpd.com and we'll type in this code. And once they have it in, it'll immediately join them without them even needing to hit enter. So you can see I opened it on my iPad. The first question students will see is, how are you feeling today? And they can skip it or they can select their little icon of a smiley face, middle of the line, or a sad face. You can also give the students a link. So if I've already created this, I can copy it and actually put it into Seesaw or Google Classroom, and students can now just click that link and it'll jump straight to this page. Once I see that all my students are connected, and since this is just an example, I'm only going to do me, but once I see that I have all 19, 24, 14, whatever number of kids you have, I can hit Start Class. And the students are going to see exactly what is on my screen. If you notice up in the top right-hand corner, I still have the code for any kids who accidentally log out or are late to class. If we start our lesson, I can always insert a new prompt and just pull this straight in. So even if, like, let's say I need clarification on something, I can send that in. I also have these 3 little dots, and with these, I can make it full screen and I can turn on my student paste, open my dashboard, end the session, all of those wonderful things. And I can also lock their screen and set a timer. So once I get in here, you can see I have show responses. So this first one says, let's think about it based on the pictures provided. Which image do you think represents the fastest, and share your reason why? Without fail, I always have kids who say the cheetah because it's fast, right? You never know. But what you can do is you can lock their screens immediately and say, make sure you look at the question before you answer. Or you can hit this little triangle and it gives you a timer. And on their iPads, that timer will show up so that you can make sure they're aware of the time. And so once the timer runs out, their screens will lock and they'll no longer be able to respond, which is really great. While the timer's going, though, I can show responses of my students. So this is mine on my iPad, but I can see already. And so if I see that when I'm looking at their responses, I see some misconceptions already, I can stop my lesson and immediately give feedback. That's why Pear Deck is so great. And now that the screens are locked, I can see all of my answers. And right now you can see that it doesn't have the student's name anywhere on the slide. So they're anonymous whenever it's in the presentation mode. But when I go to peardeck.com, I can see their data with the student names next to it. I can also go ahead and send this to student paste if I would like. So once you go through that slide, you can click to the next one until we get to another one. So light travels in wavy rays that spread everywhere. Is that true or false? On their screen, it has the multiple choice answer. And then when we finish, we can show responses. So I have one person who says false, right? And we can discuss it. And I would always lock my screen before I show responses as well. As you can see, this is a really great way of getting the students to interact, seeing the lesson, and also being able to answer. So for this one, I said, tell a neighbor something about what you just learned about light with this sentence stem. Before I changed this slide, it has a multiple choice question that said, how do you feel about sharing something with your neighbor? And they were able to say, absolutely, please call on me. Or, yeah, okay, I'll feel like showering right now. Or if they're nervous, or please don't call on me. And this is another great way of getting to kind of see where your kids actually feeling at the moment with the content. Over here, we have our drawing thing, so they can label with an N or an A if it's natural or artificial. And so you can see as the students are responding, I can look at their screen and in real time, I can see, okay, my kids are understanding, or oh, nope, my kids don't get it, which is really, really great because a lot of times we teach an entire lesson without realizing how many of our kiddos actually don't understand. And so if I'm in this process and I'm saying, okay, my kids are really understanding light energy, I see I have 2 or 3 kids that are still struggling. What I personally like to do is I come over and I say, turn on student paste. And now what this means is my kiddos who are understanding the concept can continue to work on it on their own device at their own pace. And those 2 or 3 kids that need a little more clarification, I can pull to a small group table and we can go over the slides together. So I'm not having to slow down my entire lesson for the 1 or 2 students. And I'm going to eliminate a lot of behavior issues with this as well. If you have more questions about how to use Pear Deck, please let me know. At the very end, you always hit end, and I'm going to leave it open because I have it at student paste. And what's going to happen now is that lesson that I was just doing is now going to appear in my peardeck.com, and I can go back and look at my sessions. Thank you for your time, and if you need more help, reach out to your TIS specialist.